There we go. That helps. Just to capture it all on the recording, all that we've done is go around the room and introduce ourselves to Ed, our newest member. Ed, the charge of this is, this committee is to find out what is on our veterans' minds in the town of Grafton, and then to communicate that to the town of Grafton leaders. We have a wide range of ideas, ranging from, a meet and greet with donuts and coffee, all the way to alerting the senior center on all the VA benefits that they're authorized for and helping them out with getting things done. We want to work in conjunction with the VFW and the Legion that are local as well. We realize that they're the ones that are going to do majority of the work, right? Like they've already are tied into all of that. So really what we can offer is those areas where they are not tied in. And being new, the beauty of this is we can build this committee to how we see fit. There's some other things on the side, mainly the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Committee or Board that that's a separate issue. That is a separate board, but we realize that they are not meeting like they should. So there's some talk. You may hear us reference that every once in a while, but I'm trying to keep those very separate because that is a different board. But just to let you know, we are working with the town administrator on ways forward to fix that board as well, so they can get their quorum, so they can actually make decisions and do some things to take care of our memorials. Once again,
just as a point of interest, Ed, is that I have a problem just, when I say Justin, as to who the hell I'm asking. So what we had volunteered from Justin Stone is that they used to call him Stoney. So you can go ahead and call him our chairman Stoney, and you call Justin Souza Dumb. All right.
Ooh, that's mean. What did I do?
Oh, you didn't see that coming though, did you?
No. Oh, I had to dig at Stoney coming in. I was going to say Stoney, not Stoner. Don't call him Stoner.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Actually, we had that conversation, I think, on our second meeting.
Oh, nice.
But so we've got a lot of good ideas. We're still in the initial processes of implementing those ideas. Some of the first things that we're looking to do is we need to get a list of veterans in our town. And that's where we're at right now. That kind of get you caught up with when we start running through our agenda items today, but that's where we are. With that, Justin, did you have something that you were going to throw out with that? Or
I can wait till the agenda item pops up if you'd like, because it's relevant to that. Okay.
So sticking to the agenda, I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes of the meeting from January 31st.
Second.
All right, we'll do a roll call vote. Bob DeToma.
Aye.
Jim Gallagher.
Aye.
Justin Souza. Sorry, I'm just reading it off. Sean.
Aye. Sean, aye.
Lucas.
Aye.
Ed.
Aye.
So you're new. Basically, we'll just we'll do a roll call vote to accept the minutes from last week, and Sean will send those out after I send out the agenda. You'll just review them and then take a look at them. But since you are on the board, do you have any concerns? Do you want to look at it?
I have it up in front of me right now. I was looking at it, so no, it looks fine. It's a nice little, start.
Okay.
I'm a non-voting member, so I just
They had to have, it's like like they have to have the literacy test, and he's on his third try now. But we're pulling for him, right, Justin?
Yes.
All right.
It's because you let me use your glasses. I can't see anything.
That's it.
All right, and then Justin Stone, I accept the minutes for last time, so those are approved. As you can see, Ed, it's like herding cats, keeping on schedule with this.
I see that.
All right, I'll hand over the VA rep notes, Justin. I'm going to change that
okay.
so for you.
Yeah, thank you. I'd appreciate that. So I ordered flags this year for Grafton and the other towns in a bulk order. The good news is we're going to get flags. The bad news is they're a buck and a quarter each, which is up from 68 cents 2 years ago. Last year they were 98 cents, and this year they're $1.25. And that is directly because of COVID and a lack of manufacturing available here in Massachusetts or across the country, really. I looked at a couple different vendors, and they were all $1.25. So I went with Masscore, which is local. It uses labor is provided by those that are criminally incarcerated, and allows them to work a trade and learn a shop or something like that. So I figured going local would be a little better than getting something from Georgia if it was the same price, because then we'd also don't have to pay shipping with Masscore, which is great. And one other thing to note with Masscore is if we're a town and we're buying from them, state law doesn't require us to get 3 quotes. We can buy direct from Masscore because it's probably going to be one of the best prices.
What are these flags for?
The grave marker flags. So these are the flags that are put out every Memorial Day on veteran graves.
So with the increase in cost, will that come out of your budget or?
Yeah, so we have a few $1,000s set aside for flags, and we don't typically go through all of it, but this year we're going to come close, and it is reimbursed, I believe, at 75%, if not 100%, by the state. So we get most of it back. It's just having, I do have enough up front but if the prices go up anymore, I'm going to have to ask for more money next year, which I hope they don't. I hope they start going back down.
Okay.
How many are you getting?
I'm sorry?
How many are you getting?
For Grafton, you know what? Let me pull up the email. I can tell you right away. Okay, I am getting 10 gross for Grafton, which is 1,450 flags. And I believe we use all of them. We might not use every box. Like a box is a gross, and a gross has 145 flags in it. But during the year, that gross that isn't used right away is used to replace any broken flags that are, or if there's a veteran's grave that doesn't for some reason get a flag on it. There are some people who take their markers with them and during spring and come back and put their own flag, or many things happen. So I always order a little over just so we have extra flags in case we need to put them out for a veteran family. But across the district, we're ordering 30 gross. We had a little surplus last year that's covering Westboro or Northborough, and the other 2 towns are getting 10 gross each. So that's 4,200 flags, I think. Yeah, just over 4,200 flags. Sean?
These will be delivered to you when, and then when are they put out, and who puts them out?
Delivery, I'm not too sure on, because they all come from Milford, I believe. Last year I got them from the same office or the year before, and the day after I ordered them, they were dropped off by a guy in a truck who knew who I was and had a bunch of flags. So I think he works for Masscore. This year, I haven't gotten word on delivery yet. I think they have to make a route, because they not only deliver to my town, but deliver to a few other towns. So once I hear, they'll drop them off, usually in Westboro, and then I split them up between the different towns. So then they're put out usually by the Boy Scouts, who help. Well, I shouldn't say the Boy Scouts. The American Legion takes the North Graveyard, and I think the former state hospital, and then the VFW takes the southern part of the town with the southern graveyard, which I think is Pineview or Pinecrest. I can't remember the names. There's 8 different cemeteries throughout my district, so it's hard for me to remember what's where. because I only really deal with them once a year. But the Legion will organize the northern part, and then the VFW will do the southern, and then I think they split anything in the middle. And they use the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts troops that are available in town to help place the flags, as well as volunteers. And if anyone wants to volunteer to put out a flag, they're welcome to do that. They don't have to be a veteran. They could just be willing to help. I usually put them in touch with the American Legion and the VFW, depending on what part of town they live in. If someone asks me if they can volunteer. So do you look? Yeah.
Yeah,
Bob.
Bob, I was gonna actually ask, is that something that maybe if the Legion and the VFW need volunteers, can we put that out on the Grafton channel?
Well, my question was going to be, how has the volunteer effort been in the past? But that's exactly where I was going. If perhaps Justin and I could get together and do a quick PSA and an appeal for volunteers to put flags out, because I know that, excuse me, when I was appointed to the committee, I know some of the horror stories I heard about how scouts, scouting organizations in town had less than favorable experiences in the past. And it was getting harder and harder to get people to participate, but I'm sure we could do something. I'm sure we could do something about it.
That was due to some individuals who took it upon themselves to over-organize the event. And I imagine they're still involved in some extent, but I feel that the Legion and VFW have kind of taken, I guess I could say have taken charge of that process. So that kind of segues me into the VFW Legion leadership meeting. So I did meet with them a couple Thursdays ago. No, a couple Tuesday. It was a Tuesday ago or two Tuesdays ago. They had the VFW commander and a few members, and the Legion commander and a few members at the Legion post. And I went. They brought up some concerns, and one of them was that they felt that the town didn't notify them or include them in the standing up of this board as well as they could. And I apologize to them personally on my behalf, because I feel like I probably could have, I could have tried to communicate a little better. But I also explained to them that the town stood this board up faster than I could have imagined. Within 2 weeks, they were already taking your applications for this board, and had only told me that week, when all of a sudden, Stoney, you had applied, I think Jim, you had applied, and Sean, you probably did. And then Bob was like, yeah, hey, this happened. And I was like, holy moly, that was very fast. So it didn't give me a lot of time to prepare. One thing I had wanted to do was to reach out to the veteran groups in town and notify them that, hey, excuse me, this is happening. This is happening to increase my visibility on veteran needs within the towns, because I don't always get to talk to the Legion, the VFW. I think having a civilian group as a liaison between veterans and my office would be helpful. And there's things that they might be able to do to help assist the Legion and the VFW in celebrating veterans throughout the town. And this is part of what I said to the veteran, the VFW and American Legion at the meeting. They were very concerned with the town thinking, or their thinking was the town was trying to take Veterans Day and Memorial Day away from them and start doing all the celebrations on their own. I said that is very much not the case. We want to support the VFW and the Legion in any way that we can, but it is yours. Like, it is, you have done the traditional events all for as long as many people can remember. So that is not something the town would ever want to take from you. The advisory board is being stood up in order to assist in any way if they can. And if you don't want their help, they won't be, I think the term I used was, they won't be sticking their nose in your business if you don't want them to. And they seem to be, if they felt that was a good explanation, they felt better after the meeting. One thing the Legion commander did mention was something to do with the the old way they did the parade. A lot of veterans nowadays cannot physically participate in the parade because of their advanced age, and their bodies are not as spry as they used to be. So they were thinking about where to try to hold these events, maybe at the high school. The Legion commander said someone gave him a little guff for having the Veterans Day event at the Legion post. I don't know why people would have problem with that, because it's a Legion post, it's a veteran area. But he didn't go too into detail with it. So, and then there was a lot of questions about exactly what the advisory board is doing. I was like, well, they're still kind of figuring out where they can best be utilize their efforts, where they can best focus. So one thing that the Legion VFW can do is maybe think of ways that they need help. Is there any way that they need help? And I believe that they would be open to volunteers to help with flags. I'm not sure exactly how many participants they have, but what I would ask is if one of you would like to reach out to them, by all means, and ask if there's any need for veterans before Bob and I make a PSA. That way we give them a heads up that we're going to be doing it if they want us to do it. And if they want us to do it, we'll go ahead with it. Because one thing I don't want to do is, tell a lot of people to show up and then have the Legion go, what are these people doing? Yeah, Jim.
Stoney, through you, one of the things I've been talking to Carmine there in the Legion, and I think one of the people that was a little perturbed about the meeting at the Legion was the VFW. Why is it there and not here, and things like that. But one of the things that I was talking to Carmen about is that what I was hoping that we would be able to do is to have some sort of a joint meeting, even if it's a Zoom meeting, so that the VFW and the Legion can actually be here. So it's not secondhand. You're having to carry our concerns to them, and then they're coming to you and you're presenting them to us, so that we can at least talk with each other initially, calm some nerves, which sounds like exactly what you've done. But at the same time, letting them know what we think that we'd like to do. I mean, you look around at the Legion, and I think there's so many people think at the back of their mind that this is just a bunch of the old Vietnam vets now, and we're fading away, and there's not much addition in their ranks from Desert Storm and so forth. So one of the things that I think that we could express to them is our initiative, like Stoney was saying, about trying to seek out who the veterans are, and then contacting them and letting them know who we are, and see if we can kind of bring that group together. Because I think, like anything, it's the younger blood that would be necessary in order to keep this whole motion going. That, like the old World War II parades and the Vietnam vets parades, and those, they're falling to the side because we're old. And we need to get, some of the Desert Shield, Desert Storm, Afghans in, and things like that. So I'll shut up now.
So 3 things directly related to that. Concern has been expressed by not only the Legion of VFW and here in Grafton, but throughout my district, as well as I think across the state and the nation. Membership is sort of down, and they're very worried about their future, it sounds like, because of that. So I told them I would be very interested in helping them brainstorm ideas, because I'm a Afghanistan era veteran. Why are we not joining these organizations? That's some things I do have some thoughts on. You mentioned, oh crap, now I can't remember. You mentioned 2 other things I wanted to respond to. Reaching out to the town, veterans in the town. I have a response. That's my next item on the agenda that I want to touch on. And I can't remember what the third thing was. It had something to do with new members, attracting new people.
I think
think-
something like
yeah.
in our letter that will go out. I
Yeah.
think we have to clear out the misconception that, like you join the VFW or you join the Legion because you're a Vietnam veteran. And that's
Oh,
certainly
right,
just
right.
not the case,
Yeah.
is that you're a veteran. It doesn't matter of what era, but you're welcome.
Mhm.
Well, and I think a lot of it is also, there was a lot of talk and all of that about this is being taken away from me. We needed to, do it for this group of veterans. We need to hold the parade here. And from my veteran friends, there's a lot of concern with it's very strict. This is how it's always been, and this is how we're doing it.
Mhm.
And I think what we can offer is a different mindset to that. And, we can get everybody together and we can kind of be that bridge between the VFW and the Legion and all the local veterans as well. So I think that there's
That is a key outlook there, Stoney. I think there's a big disconnect between earlier era veterans and current era veterans. There's not only age difference, cultural differences, conflict differences, but just the culture of the military at the time you were in, Jim, may be different from the time that I was, or Stoney even. I mean, we all served at different times throughout the life of the military, but we all come from many different backgrounds, different socioeconomic standings, and I think a lot of that comes together to play into how you may view the Legion, the VFW, or service organizations of any sort, and your willingness to participate. And depends too on your experience in the military too. So, because one thing I get from a lot of the Vietnam veterans, unfortunately, is, the civilians really screwed us when we got home. Sucks. And then I'm sitting here going, I get all my care done at the VA, and I'm really happy with being a veteran. So it's kind of hard to reconcile with a lot of the Vietnam vets, and I feel badly about that personally because, I feel awful that they were treated that way, and I think it might gall them a little. I don't know, Jim. I don't want to put you on the spot either, but
No, it's absolutely true. The first thing when I came back, we landed in Oakland, and I copted us over to San Francisco. Over to the Oakland Air Base to get us out of there. And I'm sitting in the airport, and I got my bag between my legs, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm ready to go home. And these two absolutely gorgeous young women come walking by, and pardon my English right now, but I'm going to say it, is that they walked right up to my face and said, "Baby killer," and that was our welcome. Was like that right across the board. But the important thing that I need to say is that right now I have had more people say thank you for your service. Now, young people who have learned from like maybe grandfathers like me or their fathers to show respect to someone who's in the military. And I think that's the new norm now, is that people are looking to thank the military now. And I think that's it's so very important. And what I get afraid of is if we have people of my era that are running these different groups, there's still maybe a little bit of that bad blood, and they're not willing to let the other people in. And that's a problem.
Yeah. So I think what Stoney said, allowing a group to bridge that gap and kind of be the liaison between those groups and the general public or younger veterans especially might be a good idea. Kind of ease them into the idea of being in a veterans group or something. So I wanted to touch on the intro letters. If
Actually,
anyone didn't have any
before
questions.
we get to that,
Yeah.
Justin, Jim, I know that we've been trying to get with the VFW and the Legion to either get them on one of our meetings or to do something on the side. What if the last email that I saw you offered and they were like, yeah, that's a good idea, but I haven't seen any dates. Have you had
No,
any
and
other conversations?
I'm over my pay grade if I start inviting them, so why don't you come next Thursday? So I think an invitation from the group,
Okay.
and that may be something that we may want to try to nail down and say, you know what, our meeting in March is on
Yeah.
the 21st of March. Are you interested in having a couple of people sit in for that meeting, just to get acquainted?
So one hang up might be their capabilities with Zoom or ability to be on a Zoom call. Bob, Bob DeTome, I'm gonna call you out for a second. Sorry, there's no other Bobs. I'm used to some meetings where there's like 4 Bobs. Would you be able to open the studio to allow them to be online with us at that time? That would be okay? He's shaking his head, yes.
The other
Cool.
thing is, now that the mask mandates and stuff are dropped, we could probably, because Cindy asked me last time if I wanted to do an in-person meeting this time.
Oh, okay.
So we might be able to just do an in-person meeting, and that might be a little bit more formal if everybody agrees. It could also be, I set up a Zoom line like this, and whoever feels comfortable shows up and we meet in person, and then we'll also have a Zoom call going. We can work out those details. I think the important thing is I'll send out that invite once we sort those details out.
Okay.
But Jim, I think that's a good idea. And I think if it comes from the official, it can come from me, and then I'll include the Veterans Advisory Council or Committee's email on there as well. So we'll all have a part of it. So I'll get with you after this meeting and to get who I need to send it to. I know Carmen.
That's
was on
why
the
you're
line.
our leader, Stoney. If we had to rely on Sean, we'd be dead in the water.
Okay, wise guy. All right, if I may,
Yes, sir.
I'm not sure how the Legion and the Post send out if they have monthly meetings or quarterly, whatever it is, for something we may have to just brainstorm on again is, could we, for example, CC them on our agenda and our meeting date, the one that you send, Justin, and if they want to, jump on the Zoom call or whatever, is that something we can entertain and we can work out? I know you just said, have them come to the studio or wherever, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, can we just give them the same maybe email that we all get, and to let them at least get the announcement of, all right, we're having a meeting Thursday night, whatever it is.
Sean, I think that's maybe a great idea down the road, but I think initially it's very important that Stoney invite them.
Face to face, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
we talked about at one point having, like, maybe we can have a Legion and a VFW liaison as members of this board, and I'm good with that. I think that'll go a long way to filling out the
I nominate
committee and
Jim.
who should be on there. I'm sorry.
I nominate Jim.
There's a couple of things to keep in mind as far as meetings are concerned. If we're going to meet face to face and have coffee and just shoot the breeze, by all means, we can go right to the TV studio and into the conference room and do that.
Mhm.
If we invite them to take part in a meeting in the future and it's on Zoom, they don't have to necessarily use the computer. There's the telephone call-in feature. Now,
Oh, right, yeah.
we don't see their face on the screen, but we do see their name and their phone number. And so that's something to keep in mind is more than one way to go about this, I guess is what I'm driving at. And they might, I'm assuming, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm assuming they might feel more comfortable in the setting of the TV studio as opposed to town hall. Maybe perhaps there's some, I'm trying to find the right word, more comfortable being in a setting other than town hall, I guess.
Might be a little more relaxed, less formal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I would agree. And Jim, I think you made a good point. Personal invite from the chairperson is going to help. I think they'll feel very respected from an invite like that. And I think that's something important to do first before we start just copying them on emails and stuff.
Yeah. And if we can get them to where they're members of the board, then I wouldn't mind adding them to the VAC email distro.
Yeah.
But if they don't want to be on that, then what I don't want is for them to be in our emails that were we going back and forth and trying
Yeah.
to coordinate things, because I think that would, one, overwhelm them and probably lead to a lot of questions on why are y'all doing all this stuff. So,
Mhm.
and not that I'm full open kimono, they're going to know everything that we're going to be doing. But at the same time, when you see the emails that are going back and forth,
I'm glad I don't have my glasses on.
I've never seen a flannel one of those.
Oh,
I think Sean had his hand up first, Bob. Sorry.
Yeah.
So then I guess I will retract a little bit of what I had said. So if and when it comes to that, we just would CC them on just meeting announcements, not
Yeah.
necessarily having them full on, as you said, full on everything, every email we send out.
Yeah, like I said, if they're a part of these meetings constantly, then I'm good with it. What you know me, I always, well, what's the flip side of it? And if they're going to only show up every once in a while, then I'm afraid they could see everything that we're doing and start to question and take it out of context. So,
Okay.
But I do like the idea of them being on the board. Bob, you also had something.
Yeah, I was going to say that we can create an agenda that's strictly just the conversation with members that want to have a conversation.
oh, that's a good idea.
It doesn't have to be our monthly meeting. The only agenda item is this conversation with veterans, whether it's in person, whether it's on Zoom. Because if
Right, here's who we are,
even
here's
and if
what
we
we
meet,
think we do, and
Yeah.
what can we do to help you?
and if we meet in a room and there's a quorum, we have to post it anyway. So that's that. It doesn't have to be typical business. It can just be open and a conversation.
So what would the board prefer? Would you want to just invite them to one of these meetings, or would you want to set this aside and specifically we're going to sit down to talk about business?
I'd like to see a special meeting so that they can see that they're important to us.
Yeah.
Here is the meeting, and the only reason for the meeting is for us to meet you and see what we can do for you.
And ask if
That'll allay a lot of fears.
they prefer face-to-face.
Right.
You can also ask them what their, involvement is, whether it's quarterly, monthly, something like that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Ed, normally how I do this stuff, and I know that you've seen some of the email traffic from in the month of February, but I'll create some kind of rough template and then I'll send it out to everybody for their questions or comments or concerns. And normally, everybody's good. So if y'all have things that I missed or whatever, feel free. You're not going to hurt my feelings if you're like, no, let's do this and let's add this. So
That's my job.
right. Yeah. Everybody's like, you're an idiot. Look at this. You screwed this up. So don't feel bad.
Okay.
I've got thick skin, but yeah, we're a group, we're a team, and that's how we're going to run this committee. So until Jim takes over as chairman.
Not happening.
All right. Any other questions or comments on the VFW Legion meeting? All right. Expect some stuff coming out this week, and I'll start working to get an agenda together. We'll talk to them about face-to-face or over the phone kind of meeting, and we'll set that up. Okay, Justin, now the intro letters.
Okay, so I have bad news on the intro letters.
Oh no.
I said I would take care of it, and then I realized there are 700 letters that need to be sent.
Okay.
That is an overwhelming amount of papers to print and fold and stuff in an envelope, and then it's going to be about, I think, $400 to mail. So I queried a couple of print shops, and it's going to be a little bit around there. So far, I think the lowest, I've got one quote back, and it was $500 to send that mailing out. And that is from a more expensive print shop, but it's myself and one staff member. So what I would like to do is maybe get a tax work-off person from the senior center and see if maybe they could do it. They do the folding and mailing or folding and stuffing. Is that what you're going to suggest, Bob? Yeah. Okay. So unfortunately, Stoney, I know you wanted to have those in the mail for this meeting. They are not. I apologize. I didn't mean to say I could take care of it and then not take care of it. It's a lot of letters. It's a lot. So
I thought it was. I thought it would be. So yeah, no worries.
Yeah. So
Can I ask how many in the town of Grafton? How many veterans did you get?
so on the so that is one other issue is I queried the town clerk for a list of registered voters who have identified themselves as veterans. That's how we're getting this list. She said that I cannot disclose that list to the general public because it has protected information on it. So I'm not able, I guess, per her guidance as a town employee, to share that with a non-town employee, hence the board. So what I was going to do then is instead be the intermediary and stick the letters in there, put the letters in the mail for you. And you won't have any idea who they were mailed to until people start getting in touch with us, so I think that keeps their information protected unless they identify to you that they want to be involved or they come back in whatever response to the email or to the letter. Now, some other towns are not as discriminatory and have said, yeah, you can share it with whoever you want, it doesn't matter. But also those other towns, that information looks like it's just name and address. On the list that I got from Grafton, there's a few more things I think that make it a little more protected. There's additional information that looks sensitive. So there's in Grafton, there's 699 identified veterans, and that's identified. So there are many veterans probably who have not identified either way on the town census as a veteran. So we usually estimate there's anywhere between 5 and 10% of a town population. I usually say about 5% of the town's population is it's a good guess that that's a veteran. So in Grafton now there's 18,000 people. So I don't know what 5% of that is, but I'm going to try to figure that out.
900.
That'd be about 900 people. So there's probably a few other veterans that are not identified, that either don't know to identify, don't want to identify, don't know they're veterans. You'd be surprised. You laugh, Stoney. That's the thing.
No,
Problem not even on there.
Yeah, or there's active duty. There's active duty veterans that, or active duty people that are veterans that have not identified as veterans because they're active duty and they don't, think of themselves as a veteran specifically yet. So yeah.
I was actually going to ask you this because I figured when they were telling me that I couldn't have that list, that there was additional information. Isn't it Excel? Is it like in an Excel product? Can you delete the other blocks?
Yes, I probably could. I haven't been able to clarify with the town clerk yet about that. Because I was looking at it the other day going, wait a minute, this is Excel based. Could I just leave name and address and leave that and leave everything else off? So I don't know. I'll ask her tomorrow when I talk to her in the morning.
Okay. As far as the funding,
Can I just, before he moves on, can I just ask something? That that Candy is running for re-election,
Is she?
right? Yes.
Okay.
If we were to tell her tomorrow that maybe one of the things that we can do is in the letter, thanks to the cooperation of
Okay.
of Candy, the clerk for the town of Grafton.
I thought you were going to go the other way with that.
There's 699 people that are seeing her name, and I think you might get more.
Yeah.
Not
that'd
that
be a
she
good
wouldn't
idea.
anyway, because she's a great person. I know her and I love her.
Right.
But I think presenting that, I think there's a payback there.
It's
Okay.
called greasing the skids.
Yeah.
that's how it's done. Well, and then, and that kind of leads into what I was going to ask you, Justin, as far as the budget goes.
Yeah.
do you have the money to cover that, or do we need to?
If it's $300, I could probably cover it once or twice, but I'm gonna have to ask Evan for additional money depending on what this works out to be at the end. I'm gonna, forecast that out are you thinking quarterly, or like, you want to do a quarterly newsletter?
As of right now, no, I just want to do the
Okay.
intro letter.
The intro letter? Okay.
Yeah. Jim suggested during our last meeting that maybe we need to look at getting a budget, but as of right now, I don't think we have enough to say what will we use the money for.
The
A
way it's
newsletter would be good, but
the way
I
it's
think electronic would
worked
be
in Westboro is that the veterans agent has a special events budget line that
Mhm.
is able to fund different events or different initiatives that the advisory board takes on too. So if that's the case, I'd be happy to be the treasurer for that. Because I already have to do a budget for my office anyway. I'd be happy to do that. And I do it for the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Committee as well.
Okay.
If you would like that, I'd offer it.
Bob, you had something?
Yeah, two items. If we get the information, can we stuff the letters? That would be one thing. I mean, if we each did 100 letters, and that's, right there, a good chunk of it taken care of. And second, I'd like to nominate Jim Gallagher as treasurer of the committee.
Yes.
Listen, I was just thinking of all of those paper cuts that I'd get stuff in the envelope.
Hey, you know what? If you don't want to be treasurer, you can just stuff all 700 envelopes, and then we'll call it even.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
Then you don't have anything to do during the day.
I mean, I am
Oh,
home
that's
for
it.
3 months.
Jim, are you eligible for the senior tax work-off? Do you want to be my senior tax work-off person? You get money off your property tax.
What is it again?
Have you heard of the senior tax work-off program?
I have, but I think my income precludes it.
Oh,
Because
so
I'm getting a OPM, I'm getting a Social Security, and I think
so
I
there's
priced myself out. Plus,
there's
I
a-
get a stipend from the Professional Dancers Club, and well, that's
yeah, they paid you to not dance, right?
yeah, that's right. That's exactly it.
So there's actually a book, rules on the book that I have. I'm going to butcher all these metaphors. Okay, people in glass houses shouldn't sink ships. There's a veteran tax work-off program. I got it approved by the town board of selectmen, and I think maybe the town meeting, but I've never been able to institute it because I have to track all the workers. And I was a little, no, I don't want to say this on recording. So I have to track all the workers myself. And that if I have more than 1 or 2 veterans, that can get to be a little hectic with my work calling me to the other towns. I don't have a specific Grafton like time other than 1 day a week. It might be a little much depending on how many veterans I get interested in. But I believe there's no income limit. You just have to be a veteran. So that's something to keep in mind, and something I think we should discuss further as far as getting that program rolling, because I think there's a lot of veterans that, one, would be willing to help the town, and 2, this would help them out a little with a little bit of money off their property taxes.
Can you send that in an email to the VAC district?
Sure.
We all
Will do.
have it. Sean, you had something?
Question.
John,
You're
you're muted.
No, I'm not. I
There you go.
didn't start talking yet.
Oh, there you go.
Engage this before this. If there is a machine somewhere in the town hall that will fold the letter, that's the first step. No paper cuts.
I don't think we have one of those in Grafton. I don't think we have one of those in the district, honestly. I've asked around, and no one has been able to tell me that we have an envelope, or like an envelope stuffer or paper folder or whatever.
Oh, God. Okay.
I know exactly what you're talking about too. I haven't seen one in any of the towns.
Okay. Well, then I guess we'll have to get Jim a pair of Kevlar gloves.
Mm.
I think
There's-
those staples may be able to do that, though.
See, you keep hitting on me. I think it should go to the new guy.
Oh,
That's true. That's
I already
typical
bought.
military
And
stuff right
Ed,
there.
Ed, there you are, right under the bus.
no.
No,
I'm gonna
I
be out
think,
of town next month.
All
Well,
right.
that pretty much concludes my my piece on the agenda there. So I'll ask Candy to clarify about the list. I'll double check about a folding machine. I'm not sure if we have one, and then I'll also send out the information on the veteran tax work off. Is there anything I'm missing?
No, I think that's it. Any questions on any of that stuff?
No, it was just good that you were able to be a liaison for us with the Legion and with the VFW. That was a big step.
Yeah,
You really calm their nerves so that we don't have to worry about that if we do get together with them. That's already been taken off the stove. So that was a big contribution, Justin.
I figured I had plenty of time to notify them too. The town worked mysteriously fast in that avenue. That 1 week, it was like, yeah, approved, boom, done. I was like, what? Usually it takes a couple emails to get the town in gear and then get everybody on board, and then you're talking a month or two goes by and it's finally approved. So thank you for that, Jim. Those are very kind words. I appreciate your support. This job is not easy, and you guys are making it a little more fun. So
That's what we're here
Thank
for.
you.
Bob?
Justin, you're in the office tomorrow, correct?
I am.
So there's another PSA there waiting to be made, and that would be the one about the veterans tax write-off.
Well, yes. Again, I need to have a mechanism in place to organize that program before I advertise it. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. So
Yeah, just keep it in the back of your mind. And
I will. I'm gonna open it. I got approved for 10 spots, and I think I was gonna do an initial advertisement for 5 to see how much interest we would get, and then if we got more the next year, we could do an additional few spots. But because I have to do the calculation for hours and wages earned, and then report that to the town, and I'm not sure exactly how that works. So I really have to. I was hoping the town, the senior center would take that on, but they elegantly declined.
All right, next item up is the community events planning. So didn't really have too much here to talk about. It was just seeing once we started getting in the responses from the intro letter, if we wanted to do the coffee and donuts like we've been talking about, a meet and greet out by the senior center. This actually kind of worked. I think the delay will work out in our favor because hopefully it'll be better weather so we can actually do it outside. Sean, I think you were talking about the picnic tables between the town hall and the senior center as a possible good location to do that in. So, and then the other thing is, so Blackstone Valley Express, there's our letter.
Yep, I was
came
going
out.
to say something before we ended up. I just saw that today.
Yeah.
In
So,
color.
hey, we're getting the word out slowly but surely. So, I think we're on the right path, and hopefully we'll start seeing some interest from all of this.
Who's Shirley?
Don't call me Shirley.
Yeah. Well, I knew that one
Is it-
of them slowly. I obviously was Sean, but I didn't know who Shirley was.
Oh, well, it's I've got nothing.
I don't know.
I've got nothing.
Don't worry, Sean doesn't even know I just buzzed him. So I got your brother.
Surely he didn't miss
Ooh,
I didn't miss
nice.
it. Don't call me Shirley.
that.
He's on mute.
Yeah, I think you said I got that.
Yeah,
It's in writing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was it. That was it.
Is
Glasses
there
keep
any other?
slipping down.
Is there any other items that anybody would like to bring up?
There is one thing, and it piggybacks on the coffee and donuts.
Yep.
The Northborough Legion has started doing a coffee hour during the week, once a month, I think it is. and they have the Easter Seals Veterans Program, which is run by Adam Costello, who used to be the veterans agent here prior to me. And he says it's been pretty successful. They've had some various speakers from around the state come and talk to the veterans during that coffee hour. So I don't know if that would be something that the advisory board would be interested in.
Yes.
Once interest is started. Just I wanted to mention it before I forgot about it. So
It's a great idea.
And who did that?
that is the Easter Seals Veterans Program. Adam Costello, I can get you his contact info if you'd like.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Okay. There are a lot of meetings between the state Veterans Service Officer Association, MVSOA, and the different county associations. So in Worcester, it's the Worcester County Veterans Service Agent Association or something like that. They have speakers once a month usually, or once every few months come around. And I usually get their cards because I want to keep the list in case. I was president of the Worcester Association for a while, and it was good to have sources to get people to come and talk. So if you're looking to start queuing up speakers at some point too, there's a lot of people out there who are willing to come and share their information. And I typically try to keep it to like some beneficial educational speech. Like there are some groups that just want to come and try and sell you insurance, and I don't want those people to come, you know. I'm thinking more like have the VA guy from the Worcester VA come and talk to us, or someone from Caption Call. They have the phones that like translate calls. She came to talk to us once and showed us how the phone works, and I thought that was pretty cool for hard of hearing veterans. So just keep that in mind. I just wanted to mention it so you had it in mind.
Well, you clearly have your finger on the pulse there, Justin. So I think that'd be great. And certainly you would be one of the first ones too, to be talking about benefits that may be available to them.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And then we see if we can help you out with that, we certainly will. But
Mhm.
as a veteran, you know, I'd love to know if there's something out there. Is there, you know, like the education, retraining, things like that. Where do I go and what do I do?
Okay.
Yeah. And actually, that just reminded me the coffee and donuts. It might also be good to have the VFW and the Legion there as well.
Mhm.
I think that will definitely need to be after we meet them, because my thought is I'd like them there, but I'd like them to know that it's like our committee kind of thing, like we're meeting everybody. But I wanted them to show them that, hey, but we want you here and we want to push people your way. But, you know, it's about us at that one point in time, just to get our names and stuff out there.
Can I jump in again, Justin?
Yep.
One of the things that I think people don't really realize when they're gathering together, like for coffee and things like that, and I think Sean can maybe tell us more about this, but the Board of Health requires that there be someone there that has the training on like Heimlich and things that can develop from eating things that they're allergic to and things like that. But I know that we were doing this with some of the groups at St. Mary's. Before we could do it, we had to certify that someone was there that was certified. So
Okay,
just
that's
pack
good to
that
know.
in the back of your head. I don't remember what the specifics were. Do you, Sean?
That I don't remember, Jim, to tell you the truth. I'm not sure.
But I know there's something there, Stoney.
Okay.
I usually try to maintain my CPR certification through the towns. I think I'm not current though, but I was a medic in the military and I know all that stuff pretty well.
Yeah.
So
Well, and this is a good
Yeah.
point to bring up. I know we said that before we actually did the coffee and donuts, we were going to go to the board, the select board first, and just kind of give them an overview. Hey, this is what we've done. This is what we want to do, and get their inputs too. So hopefully they're in touch with that kind of stuff and they can tell us you need to do this, this, and this before you can do this.
Nah, I don't count on it. No, seriously, and it's not.
You're probably right, but
I think it's the Board of Health was the one that was the driving force that said that you had to have someone that was, and I forget what the qualifications were, but we were setting up it was like a fish dinner on Fridays during Lent. And there had to be a certification that at all of the seatings that someone was there that had whatever credentials were necessary.
Okay,
Wow. Well,
Yep.
maybe we can invite a firefighter. Sorry.
I know one. John?
Jim, if you're talking about, and specifically, like you said, serving a meal type of thing, there's something called safe serve. So someone working the kitchen has to know about, food temperatures and things like that. That definitely comes under the purview of the Board of Health. I don't know about the CPR piece, but I can call.
I was thinking more of the Heimlich, like if you're having food, that someone's there that's going to be certified. I don't know.
We don't plan on serving stale donuts, so we don't have to worry about that. They're going to be soft
Right.
and chewy.
Okay, well.
Fresh.
One other thing that I don't know if any of you have heard of Project New Hope in Worcester. It's on James Street in Worcester. I just saw a thing the other day. They are doing a Tuesday morning coffee, just chit chat type of thing. So that's, I might just pop in there one of these days just to see what they do and how they do it, or is it literally just come on and have a cup of coffee? And going back to the inviting the leadership from the Post and the Legion to not invite them. I'm sorry, I'm saying it wrong. When we do talk to them and we tell them we're going to have this coffee and donut session, we sell it as two things. It's not just a meet and greet for the Grafton veterans. Maybe we could not sell it to them, but as a recruiting tool.
Yeah.
For hopefully we're going to get people to show up that don't just typically go to the Post anyway. So that's kind of, I'm assuming that's what we're looking for. We're looking to get the word out there, get more people involved in different things or aware of different things. And maybe, as we said earlier, there are guys out there or gals out there that are not aware of their status. And we can, again, sell this to the Post and the Legion as a way of expanding their membership also.
Yeah.
So right now I've got our next meeting scheduled for Monday, March 21st at 1900. Does that work for everybody?
I will actually be out of town for 2 weeks from I think the 9th to the 24th.
Okay.
Where are you going?
It's real. Ask Wendy. Tell Bob to ask Wendy.
Oh,
Where
as
are
the
you
boss.
going?
Okay. All right.
It's Zoom, so you can just call in on your phone. It's okay.
Come on, kid. I want to know where you're going for 2 weeks in March.
I'm going to Barbados.
Busted. Oh, can't call from Barbados.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, when you come back, we're going to be checking for tan lines.
That's fine.
we did it with Jim whenever he went down to Florida.
He's gonna have
I
the
know,
biggest spray,
yeah,
the quickest spray tan ever.
I want to go to Alaska, not Florida.
All right.
So-
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. Bob DeToma,
Aye.
Jim Gallagher,
Gallagher, aye.
Ed,
Aye.
Sean,
Aye.
Lucas,
Aye.
and I also do the motion to adjourn. So this meeting is over. I will talk to you all in a month.